I'm Aaron Dickens, and straight ahead on WVU News, the House passed a new bill that could severely affect the LGBTQ community. That story, coming up.
Coming up, I'm Maggie Oliverio. Did you know over 200 people in our area will be employed in this over 300,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility? I'll tell you how that's possible.
Are you concerned about the air you breathe and the water you drink since the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio? I'm Sydney Wentz, and straight ahead, I'll tell you what this means for us here in Morgantown. Our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
A recent train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio has left local residents worried about the future. Morgantown is only 115 miles away. So what does that mean for the residents of our community? I'm Maggie Oliverio.
And I'm Catherine Brook. A new bill has passed through the West Virginia House of Delegates. And if passed by the state Senate, it could affect the LGBTQ community statewide.
These stories and more coming up on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University.
The train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio is being called one of the worst environmental disasters in history.
That's right, Catherine. 11 tanker cars containing hazardous chemicals crashed, spilling toxic fumes into the air, land, and water. Reporter Sydney Wentz investigates how this disaster could affect us here in Morgantown.
An Ohio train derailment earlier this month spilled hazardous chemicals into the air and water, forcing thousands of people to evacuate. Residents of surrounding areas, including Morgantown, are worried about how the spill will impact them. Resident Rick Thomas walks the rail trail along the Mon River with his children at least once a week, but he says now he fears what harm the air and water may cause his family.
You know, we always worry about our kids, and the particulates that are in the air, they're saying, you know, could be potentially up to 100 miles, and that puts us right in the fallout zone, I guess you would call it.
Morgantown Utility Board says the spill poses no direct threat to our area. Dr. Michael McCauley of WVU Public Health says tools like these measure chemicals in the air. But McCauley is concerned about the geography of the state.
Hollers and valleys don't necessarily get really good ventilation from the wind. They tend to be still, more still areas where if something moves into there from this wave, it's going to get stuck there.
There were 818 train derailments in 2022, and 447 of those were carrying hazardous or dangerous materials. For many people in Ohio, their main concern is the quality of their water, but experts say the main concern for West Virginia isn't the water, it's the air quality. But for parents like Thomas, the main concern isn't the quality of the air or water now, but what could happen in the future.
You know, we want to see some sort of accountability, some sort of legislation going forward. And, you know, if it can improve the rail system, I guess that's good, but this is something that could have been avoided.
Sydney Wentz, WVU News, Morgantown.
West Virginia American Water said it will install a second water source in case there is a need to switch to an alternate water supply.
But so far, there have been no chemicals detected in our local water. Catherine, I understand that this year alone, we've seen 83 bills introduced regarding gender-affirming care in the country.
That's right, Maggie. Legislative reporter Aaron Dickens is in the studio to explain. Aaron?
Thanks, Maggie and Catherine. Florida is one of many states to ban gender-affirming care, such as puberty blockers or hormones for transgender youth. And now, West Virginia could be next. We are seeing a growing number of Republican-led states move to ban gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth under the age of 18. That care includes puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. And despite hearing from a large group opposing the bill, the West Virginia House of Delegates passed legislation recently banning all gender-affirming care for minors in the state. House Bill 2007 would prohibit a doctor from providing gender reassignment surgery or medication for gender-affirming care to minors. And for Ann Snatterly, a parent of a transgender son, this is unacceptable.
I think denying that child to have a happy and productive childhood by not being allowed to have these medications is a disgrace to the state.
Ann's son Liam, who is now 20 years old, was clinically diagnosed with extreme gender dysphoria at age 14, to the point where he lost the mental connection between his brain and hand movements.
My brain couldn't process the stress quite right, and I lost all. It kind of happened one at a time. I was feeling a movement and feeling a movement, so I couldn't use anything with my hand. A couple months after all that stopped happening, I lost all. My brain just kind of shut down. I don't remember anything between about June to mid-October of 2016. I just don't remember at all.
Dr. Casey Kidd met Liam when he was in high school. Dr. Kidd is a pediatrician and the medical director of the Gender and Sexual Development Clinic at WVU Children's Hospital.
Gender dysphoria is significant distress related to not aligning with the sex someone was assigned at birth. And that distress can impact all aspects of someone's life and can be associated with things like anxiety, depression, and even suicidality.
And what most people don't know is that West Virginia has the country's highest percentage of teens who identify as transgender. In fact, 14% of transgender youth in West Virginia attempted suicide within the past year alone, and 60% of them considered suicide. And if Liam could have the opportunity to talk to legislators about why they should not pass Bill 2007, this is what he would want them to know.
Gender affirming care is just a way to keep way more teenagers and way more people my age alive, frankly, and taking that away, it will endanger the lives of many, many people.
The bill now heads to the Senate. It's important to note that gender-affirming care, specifically puberty blockers and hormone therapy, was associated with 60% lower odds of depression and 73% lower odds of suicide among transgender youth. Maggie, Catherine, back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. The current unemployment rate in the country is at 3.4%. That's the lowest it's been in 54 years.
And right here in Morgantown, a new 300,000 square foot manufacturing facility is bringing over 200 jobs to the Mountain State. I got an inside look at the new Mountaintop Beverage facility. Nearly 1,500 people were laid off when Mylan Pharmaceuticals closed its doors in July of 2021. But now that same group of people may have found a new job at Mountaintop Beverage's newest manufacturing facility right here in Morgantown. And Andy Lawrence, father of two, is excited about the job openings.
Mylan's loss is going to benefit Mountaintop Beverage. In fact, I know it is, because I know the people of Mylan, the dedication to move product through a plant, make a good quality product. That's what Mr. Pushkar taught all of us, make a good quality product, and that'll always carry you through.
County Commissioner Sean Sikora is excited about the quality of jobs this brings to our area.
These are good green manufacturing jobs that replace the type of salaries that the people that worked at Mylan made. So it's a great opportunity for our area.
The United States Department of Agriculture invested $25 million into this project. Mountaintop Beverage invested a total of $300 million into this facility you see today. CEO Jeffrey Sokol is positive that the future of Mountaintop Beverage is bright.
5-year view, this is highly likely to be a 700,000 square foot factory with about 500 employees.
Salaries range from $65,000 to $75,000 inclusive of benefits. If you are interested in working for Mountaintop Beverage, you can visit Mountaintop Beverage at linkedin.com.
Coming up, WVU basketball is getting ready for the NCAA championship.
But one player stayed in Morgantown to lead their team to victory.
I'm Sean Loudermilk, and coming up on WVU Sports, I'll tell you what Mountaineer let Country Roads keep him home while trying to bring a championship back to the Mountain State.
Sports fans are getting excited about the NCAA championship.
That's right, Maggie. Sports reporter Sean Loudermilk is here to tell us more. Sean?
Thanks, Catherine. Maggie. Things didn't go quite as planned for Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers last season, missing out on the NCAA tournament in 2022 after being a 3 seed their previous tournament appearance. At the end of the 2022 season, the team saw Sean McNeil, Isaiah Cottrell, and Fairmont native Jalen Bridges enter the transfer portal, leaving Bob Huggins left to rebuild after a disappointing season. One player, however, decided to stick it out. The WVU basketball team saw a lot of changes from last season. Hitting the transfer portal in the offseason, the team underwent a total overhaul, but one familiar face stuck around to see it through. WVU fifth-year guard Kedrian Johnson is the only returning starter from the 2021-2022 season and is looking to help his team make a final push into March.
For me personally, since I've been here, except for my first year here, I feel like our backs have always been against the wall, you know, and I think that's where we thrive the most, when our back against the wall, people count us out. I think that motivates us to come out and win games.
Kedrian started 30 of 32 games last season, averaging 5 points per game, shooting 42% from the field. So far this season, Kedrian has averaged 10.2 points per game and even posted a Division I career-high 22 points twice this season against Texas and Iowa State. And Coach Bob Huggins says these next few games mean even more for Kedrian and the rest of the team.
This is it for Keedy. So I think they're starting to realize, hey man, you know, I don't want to have to go through what we went through a year ago.
After posting a 16-17 record and failing to make the NCAA tournament last season, Kedrian and the Mountaineers, with their backs against the wall, look to go dancing with the rest of the Big 12 later in March. After a short road trip to Kansas and Iowa State, the Mountaineers return home one last time to a sold-out crowd for senior night. Maggie, Catherine, back to you.
Thanks, Sean. During National Black History Month, we celebrate the legacy of Black Americans whose power to lead has helped our nation become a more fair and just society.
And WVU had activities celebrating Black History Month. Kaylee Riccatelli joins us now from Social Square to tell us more. Kaylee?
Thanks, Maggie. Catherine? One organization at WVU recently celebrated Black History Month by providing mental health resources, organized lectures, and installed trivia kiosks on campus to engage students on Black history. Eric Jordan, the program coordinator for WVU's Center for Black Culture and Research, says they planned these events with the needs of Black students in mind, especially in a white majority state like West Virginia. Since 1976, February has been set aside to celebrate the achievements and contributions of Black people to the United States of America. Every year, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History chooses a theme to mark it. This year's theme was Black Resistance. On Instagram, the hashtag Black History Month has been used 5.9 million times. On TikTok, it has received 4 billion views. Catherine and Maggie, back to you.
Thanks, Kaylee. Well, that's it for this week's edition of WVU News. I'm Catherine Baruch.
And I'm Maggie Oliverio. You can visit us online on our website or watch our shows on YouTube.
And please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.